Shidduchim podcast.
Nobody Talk Shidduchim podcast, episode 90. Congratulations.
Wow, the big 9-0.
Big 9-0. Rabbi AY is here today, ladies and gentlemen.
Good to be here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Sound like a real politician there. So we're gonna embark on a like topic here, Rabbi AY.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Always good to be back.
Yeah, where were you for so long? What happened? I'm asking everyone, where were you? Life. We've been trying. You've been like literally all over.
Busy
like,
man. Busy man.
We've been in touch like every 2 weeks. Like,
I know.
Coming, not coming, busy. I'm like, okay. My assistant reached out to you.
I had my secretary hold my calls.
And then my second assistant reached out to you. And then finally I just bitch slapped Avery. And I was like, get him on the show, Avery.
Yeah, that Avery pulled through.
Okay. So this episode is going to be long distance dating and meeting on social media. Sort of a take two. Had a little bit of an episode like this, 72, like so almost 20 episodes ago. But it was more focused on my little life embarking story over there. But now we're going to actually get to the whole conversation of, long distance and meeting and, get to each topic in there. So long distance dating can be quite the challenge for many couples, many young singles, actually. And it's a unique and a special experience, no question. You could talk about it firsthand. There's a lot of character development and growth that takes place during long distance relationships. Are you one of those who this has happened to? Many times people wave their hands at you when they say, what, you've never met each other in person? That's crazy. It's how do you know it's going to work out? And well, IJ, Rabbi AY, and Rivka's here to discuss all of these things. Yeah, but you're right on time. Okay, put it on. Yeah, Rivka finally came. Everybody, it's a good thing we're not like actually live. Rabbi AY, what do you have to say about this?
Hi, first of all.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. Avrami, or Rabbi AY. Are we going to have to edit that out to keep my anonymous identity?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't want,
most people know it's you. Because I tell them, like, who is it? I'm like, it's not Dr. Phil. Hey everybody, it's IJ from the Nobody Talk Shidduchim podcast. I want to take a moment to tell you about our new affiliate program. Inflation's up, some economic problems. Here you go. Here's a few bucks off on your businesses or personal life or just for fun. I wanted you to take a look at shidduchpodcast.com under affiliates, where you can get 10% off for starting your first website, a few bucks for your graphics created with Canva, or just hire someone to do this with Fiverr. Check this out at shidduchpodcast.com and click the affiliates link. Has to be Rabbi AY.
So in terms of long distance relationships, the closest thing that I've had in my life to a long distance relationship, I guess, was during COVID. I remember right when COVID hit, I was actually downstairs in this very house. And once COVID hit, it was kind of like my mindset went from like, I'll try this, I'll try that, to like, I will try everything. Like, you name it, I'll do it. Like singles events, Shabbatons, Motzei Shabbos get-togethers, Zoom groups, chats, everything. So Lisa Elephant, actually, I was one of the originals. They called it Co-Ed 19.
Heard about that group.
Yeah, it was, and I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was amazing. I really, truly can say that I gained a lot from it, and I mean that very sincerely. During COVID, it was hard. Everybody was alone. Everybody was kind of doing their own thing, and especially for single people, we kind of felt like we were cut off. Like there could not be any progress. Like the thing that keeps a lot of singles going is like, at least there's like that kind of the gold the gold on the other side of the rainbow. And the thing that keeps a lot of single people going is like they're headed there, And then COVID came and boom, all of a sudden you weren't headed anywhere. And that was the worst feeling possible. And to be as part of those Zoom groups, I felt like I was meeting not only a lot of great girls, but great guys who I'm still friendly with to this day. I was part of a community from my bedroom, which was amazing. And we played games at night and we had roundtable discussions, and it really, really helped me a lot. And I know a lot of people felt the same way. And I did have a few Zoom dates on it.
You're saying from that?
Yeah, we got that from that. Yeah.
That was good that you didn't feel dismayed at all. Many people did.
By COVID?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying we
just that
did. I
situation
did feel
that you were in.
dismayed. And this kind of was able to thaw that ice, that feeling of like, oh, I've hit a dead end. Like all of a sudden, okay, like, you're cut off from the world, but there's this window, Zoom window into, a community.
Pun intended.
Yeah.
Kind of like bridge the gap.
Exactly. And we were able to, to connect with other people like that. So obviously I was dismayed, as were many people, but I can say about Zoom dating, and I don't know if this counts as a long distance relationship or whatever, but the Zoom dating, it didn't do it for me. Like I was happy to be doing it, and I continued to do it because of the reasons that I just said earlier.
Take what you can get.
Exactly. At that point you take what you get. Like I said, I was going all in, but I never felt like I was really able to fully connect with people, kind of, no matter how much technology progresses. And I know that now they're talking about doing like holograms on phones, like an actual image. It'll never replace the person-to-person interaction, the, shaking somebody's hand, looking at them in the eye, the vibes that you're feeling based on their, even just their body language. You can't fully pick it up on Zoom. Their emotions, you can't fully pick it up on Zoom. The little nuances, how they're moving their eyes, their fingers, their legs, everything. You'll never be able to pick up on that on Zoom. So I found that in terms of long distance, I found that to be a barrier for me.
Right. The body language is definitely a big thing when it comes to dating. Like when you're face to face with somebody, the interactions that you have, it definitely makes an impact. I mean, it like adds
huge
to the experience, the dating experience.
So it does. So it does. And that is literally one of the topics on like long distance. By the way, we chose long distance, by the way. We had a few options. The fans were like, do this one, do that one. And we put out a poll, and I was like, Rabbi AY, what do we flip a coin? We just went with that one.
Good choice.
Kind of what we want also. No.
Yeah, no, nothing to do with that.
No.
No, I don't know. Which one were you happy we chose this one?
Yeah.
No, the other option was the other option was the politics one. So
And I'm not.
This one's easier. She's apolitical.
I feel like I don't have.
That's why it'd be perfect. Like,
enough
you're
of
a little
say on
political.
politics, and
You're not apolitical. I don't like.
Gotta get Jeremy on here for the politics.
I have my say,
She's
but I
not
don't.
a bad idea. That's actually a good idea. Okay, you know what? Wait, are you available next? We're gonna get Jeremy on. Hey,
the
Rivka, what's going on? What's going on? If people want to know, welcome, Rivka.
Thank you. Thanks for having me back.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thanks for coming on again.
Yeah. So I think for the most part, I think most people I kind of came in at the Zoom dating part. I think a lot of people have kind of graduated from that in a way.
So I'm curious.
I think it's still.
Yeah, I'm curious. Has that stayed as part of a mainstay of the dating life?
I don't know exactly because I myself haven't done that recently. It definitely was a big factor during COVID. At first, I was like, I am not jumping on this bandwagon. I am not doing the Zoom dating. Like,
why was that? Just because you felt?
Because of that lack of personal interaction that you miss out on, that you just don't have. And yeah, I could read a person over video also, but it's, of course, not
totally
the same.
different.
It's not the same level.
It'll never be the same.
I find it so intriguing that so many, like whenever I mention now, like long distance, people like kind of mesh COVID in there. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Usually I
That
don't.
is interesting.
Usually I wouldn't conflate the two.
Right.
I feel like they're two separate things. Like, the COVID, which was like long distance in a way, and then there's regular long distance.
So believe it or not,
it's so interesting.
BCE before the COVID era, there was Skype dating.
There was, but there was.
People did do that.
You were stereotyped though
when they didn't have the ability.
You go, you're someone who would like date someone long distance? Oh, interesting. Like I could think of
when people didn't have the ability.
3 or
to-
4 girls that I went out to who were in a serious relationship long distance. Because like it didn't end well or whatever, and they would bring it up, or I would say like, oh, you know, did you have a serious relationship? And they'd be like, yeah, but it was like long distance. I guess it just didn't persevere.
Well, I
weren't
think
able to
that
get there.
COVID, two things. First of all, I've heard people say that COVID didn't change the world. It just sped it up. Like we were headed that way anyway in terms of a lot of the technological things that became more prevalent and mainstays of our life. But also I think maybe this is the point that you were making, but I think that it removed a lot of the stigma. Like none of us would have dreamed. I mean, I can't say none of us, but I myself would never really have dreamed of doing an online date with a girl. I would have said like, no way. Like, but for a lot of out of town daters, that did remove a lot of obstacles. Although you won't, because I think you guys can agree to this, that even if you can't make the connection online, oftentimes you're able to tell that it's a no. Right?
You can pick up on things, right? So, like I was saying, like I at first I'm like, I'm not jumping on this, and it was a few months into COVID when a suggestion came up, and it was somebody that was not local to New York. You know, as it is, things were still pretty much shut down, but the Zoom dating did allow for making that connection and going on dates or dates.
Dates. They were real dates.
I mean, I still got dressed up a little bit.
Good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's what you should. You really have to get
Just
your
from the
best
waist
shot.
up.
Yeah.
You didn't have to put like, you know.
Well,
That was
more to
definitely
put
the stereotype
myself
for guys.
more to put myself in the zone of, you know, I'm going on a date.
That's a very good point, by the
So
way. That
keeping the same rituals in a way, you know.
that how you dress and how you know, it's not just about what the other person thinks. It's also about putting yourself in the right frame of mind. That's a great point.
Yeah, and what the Skype dating came back to me because I remember years ago. This goes back less than 10 years ago, but somewhere between now and then. A good friend of my sister was dating somebody long distance, different country, and it was very hard for them to meet up, especially in the beginning, you know, to figure things out. I think they had originally met in the U.S. He had to go back to where he was from for work, and they ended up Skyping for a while, to the point where it was pretty serious. They were dating for a long time, you know, via phone calls and so on.
Video, phone call,
Yeah.
text,
And then
voice noting.
they were pretty close to getting engaged even. And she went
And they had
to
never
him.
met?
I can't recall if they met once or they hadn't met in person at all.
I could
I
see
can't
it
recall
even
that.
if they didn't meet. Like I see it. You know.
Yeah.
I was a denier before, but after going through it myself, and then, you know, even just meeting one time.
Yeah.
you know,
So
you can do it.
so she flew to him, and within the first few hours of meeting him, she was like, this is not, this isn't going to go anywhere. Like it made such a difference when they had built this whole relationship online, but it wasn't just online, you know, where you don't know who the person is or anything like that.
It was a real deep relationship.
Yeah, they definitely had the deep connections and everything. But once she met him in person, there was a whole other feeling there that she was like, this is not what I was feeling and expecting.
That's an incredible story. That's a very revealing story.
Yeah.
About
So
the power
it
of-
definitely, there's that aspect. There's also, you're right, we do mesh things, you know, the long distance dating with Zoom dating, because I think that's what a lot of people are familiar with nowadays. And, you know, who remembers what happened before COVID? We don't really remember that anymore.
I remember a little bit.
In the before
right?
time.
So in one of my experiences on Zoom dating, so I did eventually do that a bit. More because not because of the COVID itself aspect, but more because we weren't in the same state, and you know, it was too far of a distance. And with one person, long story short, after like 3 or 4 Zoom dates, I was able to pick up on some negative behaviors,
Even through the computer.
And I was going into that last Zoom date, I was like, how am I, like, I think after this, we're going to have to meet up because how am I going to be able to tell any more about this guy? Because you need to change it up. You know, that's the good thing about meeting in person. And after, like, we ended up like playing some games online together. And also, like, I came up with 1 or 2 games that we played that wasn't online, but it was over video that we were both able to do. And just seeing certain behaviors of his and the way he reacted and how competitive he was, which competition's okay. It's great. You know, friendly competition is great. But just certain commentary that came out once he was feeling a little more comfortable. We played Taboo. He had never heard of it before. He's from another country. But
what country was this guy from? That was interesting.
Actually, he'd maybe heard of it, but he had never played it.
He never played it.
Yeah.
It was. That's interesting how you kind of cascaded in a bit where you saw those things and ended up that information was true.
Yeah.
What you saw.
Wow.
Yeah. So, like,
you were able to kind
even
of
with
pick
the game
up on
of
that.
Taboo.
You were able to tell a lot even just based on
So I have a real old version of Taboo where my parents had actually censored it.
Oh my gosh.
So imagine the Taboo that's current, the updated one. It's like, you got to censor that even more. Aside from all the celebrities and everything, you know, other not the most inappropriate words, you know, that you would want in a Torah home per se. But so mind you, the slightest of words were like, it wasn't fully taken out. It was just
Hello,
crossed
Rivka.
out.
That's like an episode. That's an episode all in and of itself.
Washington Heights and
Because
censoring.
like these games have
You could edit that out.
these games have become audio engineer. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Ding, ding,
Biggie.
ding, ding. The games are a whole other conversation.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely.
Because it's really become conventional.
Yeah.
It's become a household brand. Like I remember
What, playing games?
Taboo or games?
like taboo games. Meaning like
Taboo games.
Taboo
games. Meaning-
What
yes.
is a taboo game? I'm not sure I want to know.
mean like a dirty game or an adult game. Let's say an adult
On a
game.
date?
No.
Yeah, like I was thinking of what's it called? Cards
Cards
Cards Against Humanity?
Yeah.
I mean, do people play that on dates?
Absolutely. I do. Nope. You want to play it? I'm down. I'm down.
I'll play with you, IJ, right now.
All right, bring it out.
Good. You're buying. Good.
Yeah. So there was from the most like, you know, it's not even an inappropriate word, but it was the word babe, and I had picked up the card, and at first I was like, let's see how you know.
Yeah, you can tell a lot based on these things, right?
He had to guess the word or whatever. No, I'm sorry. I was holding up the card to the screen, to the camera, and he was trying to have me guess the word. So I didn't know what the word was. And he was like, this is what I would call you, you know, if we'd be married or like if we'd be engaged or whatever. And like, this was like the third date. And I
Could be
just,
a lot.
just me. That's just me.
Was
I
it
felt a little
was it too
uncomfortable.
much
that's a
too
bit much,
soon? Was it
yeah.
a bit much too soon, or was it like
It's a bit much too soon.
Too much too soon.
thing, or was
No, it was more like too much too soon.
No, the two are
Too much too
intertwined.
soon.
It's a Ashkafic thing, meaning
That too.
at a
It's
later
like,
time-
I don't know you.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah,
he was already feeling a little bit too, it was like,
too
I
comfortable.
hear that. In Shidduchim,
it wasn't
like,
even.
2-3 dates in or whatever it was.
So it happens to be we'd already met
in person.
in
That's a lot.
person 2 years
Yeah,
before.
I hear that.
Or 3 years before. And
Wait, how long to?
we had met in person at
Years
a
before that.
weekend, like 2-3 years before that.
So I think that's a
And I
difference.
did have some of my reservations. Right, there is a bit of a
I
difference.
think
with
there's
this
a
guy.
difference, though. I think there's a difference, just like parenthetically speaking, with guys and girls. That when the guys, they've met you maybe once or twice, and then you've been FaceTiming, Zoom dating, and then like now you're going out once or twice or 3 times. For a guy, I'll tell you, to a girl, I don't get scared off of that. Like if they say babe, maybe.
Well, it depends on the guy.
depends on the
Obviously,
context
if they're
of the guy.
harping on, if they're perseverating on that, then that's a different situation.
so it wasn't just that
if
one
they can't hold
sentence.
back, that's a different situation.
Right, it wasn't just that one sentence. And he did
I
say
learned
some
that
other
actually
things.
on this podcast, on the dating app episode, when we brought like some girls on talk about the dating apps, and they were saying. They're saying like, I was asking like, what's a weird sign? They're like, oh, when they do the pet names, and I'm like what? And they'll be like, how you doing, beautiful?
You're like,
what's-
uh-oh, what am I
What's
doing
your
wrong?
day like, honey? and just like throwing all these names out, and I'm like, yeah, man, that could be a little.
I mean, I know for
You're
myself.
I'm gonna
oops.
stop doing that. I'm gonna stop.
I know for myself when I was dating, I never did any of that. It's really, it only comes after marriage.
Yeah. I mean, some people.
For myself, again,
And he also said when,
that could
I'd
be
call
a
you that once we're engaged. And I was like,
but that might be too soon itself.
no, for me, it
Well,
depends on the
have,
person. It's
I
all about
have
the
reverence
person.
for this guy that he pulled.
reverence,
Yes.
not just like respect.
No,
reverence.
reverence. I have reverence. Like this guy. Like
Isaac's bowing down to him.
I'm bowing down to you, man. Like,
In one
good
way.
for you, dude. He's
one
like,
foot.
sure.
Yeah, no.
But at the end of the day, it just sounds like you just didn't like him.
Well,
Like
so,
that. Like that.
So there was more to it. There was more. He
How much
said
can
more
you
than
like
just
somebody like
and
that
he was
after
like-
3 dates? I mean,
Right. So it was that wasn't like the one thing that like stood out to me.
It was a
but
bunch,
it
yeah.
was one of the things that I was just like, hold your horses. Like we haven't met in person yet. We haven't. I mean, we had met previously.
and did you continue after that?
So it was like within that, like I think it was that third Zoom date that there was like other conversation that happened and other things. There were a few. There were like 2 major red flags that I was seeing.
So let me,
that's
in hindsight
that was
now,
just- yeah.
making sure like that they are like that they're real, or maybe just that there's real in-person chemistry. You say 10 out of 10, right? Like important, imperative
that there should be
that
should
there's
be-
good in-person chemistry.
You're saying in this situation?
Yeah.
No, in any
No, in
situation.
any-
Oh,
He's
in any
saying,
situation.
do you think it's important to have good in-person chemistry? I think 10 out of 10.
absolutely.
Yeah.
How many
Absolutely.
times does it have to be? How many
times do you have to?
should it take for you to like maybe say, hey, let's get together and just like meet in person so we can kind of vet this? Because when people are dating long distance, it could be prolonged. You might push that off till who knows when to like meet each other. Like you mentioned this, your friend who
Right.
did that.
Right. Then that was
Oh my
prolonged. That was a
God,
couple of
That's
months.
scary. That's scary. Imagine dating a guy online. I know personally a story also. This is with an older woman who I think had been previously married. Lives in my hometown, which is not New York, and where I'm from originally.
Not New York. What?
Yeah, somewhere
We're
somewhere
all.
cold.
By the way,
and-
We're the sound
we're
effects.
all out of town here. That's me. That's what we really should just change it to the out of town podcast.
That
But-
town Shidduchim.
she had been seeing this guy online for a long time, and they'd been speaking and FaceTiming. This is probably 10 years ago, and he decided to come to meet her, and she is a baker, and I guess he either got in early or she didn't know he was coming. Either way, he like dropped in on her at her place of employ, and she had like flour on her face, and and either way he like flipped out and he ended it, and she was and it got really nasty, and she was like, I'm so glad that I got to see this side of him, and etc. Yeah, it's definitely, you can't overstate the importance enough of in person.
Yeah, I mean, there's tact also. Seems like
Yeah,
there wasn't so
that-
much tact going on there, but
No, not much.
yeah, in person definitely, yeah. And also at a certain point of having dated somebody, you have to be okay with them with flour on their face.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's 100% true.
Well, I was going to say, and
that's the reality of life.
I know Rabbi AY is very on top of my vocabulary.
Very good,
so
good call, IJ.
I want to throw in my word of the week that kind of ties into what you just said, and my word of the week is tempestuous.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of that?
Rocky, stormy.
Right. Uncontrolled.
Yeah.
Uncontrolled. And I think that word is perfect. Literally popped up this week on the word bank dictionary. And that word, I think, describes what could happen in person, because everything's controlled when you're over FaceTime. Which angle you want it.
Interesting.
You could have a script in the back. I had scripts in the back. I had the scripts. I had like right here.
Could have the
Was
teleprompter.
the FaceTime?
Joe
I'm
Biden
not
style.
kidding. I had the script. Oh yeah, okay. Let's talk about that. Okay, yeah, this one. Okay, dad jokes. All right, great. Hummintoshins, great. Okay, checking them off. But in person, you can't do that.
Yeah,
Right.
that's 100% true.
But that's where the games come in, which is a tremendous help.
But I
And that's
didn't
like a
think it would
great
be
thing
so
about
revealing,
Shidduchim.
though. I didn't think it would be so revealing over
About him.
over
You think
over
because
video.
did you get hyped up about this guy?
So
Like you're gonna
there
have
definitely
you're gonna
was-
thoughts are going to like percolate in your mind. Like, this is what he's like. This is maybe who he is,
So because we had met previously, we had met at a single Shabbaton actually about 3 years before. There definitely was chemistry. There definitely was, connection and attraction to each other. I felt it, and I think he verbalized it at one point that he was attracted to me or whatever. Would want to go out or whatever.
I learned not to say that, by the way, when I finally meet in person. I go, okay, I'm attracted to you. Check.
Yeah, there's also that. Like, okay,
I've literally said that.
Well, it comes after a while. You have to say it at some point.
But after like you're dating maybe long distance or online or like Zoom for a little bit. Especially during Corona, it happens,
But if you're dating,
it's like going out.
If you're
with some
dating
girls.
for 2 months online, I think at some point before having met them, you should still tell them that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think that made a difference because we had met in person, and so I already had a sense of what he was like. I saw him because it was a single Shabbaton. I saw him interacting with other people also, and we had a long chat.
So he's socially capable. He's not socially inept in any way.
That's a big part of it also, by the way.
Adept, yeah.
Very good. Not inept, adept. But that's a big part of it also, aside from in long distance dating, aside from your interpersonal vibes or chemistry, a big part of dating is you want to see how the person interacts with others. Going to a restaurant, are they courteous?
But that can take some time, though, Rabbi AY. Rabbi.
You're right, but anything takes time. A person can always put on a show.
But that's something you have to push off in the beginning. Like, if you go on a date and you see how maybe he or she treats the waiters and the waitresses, obviously, that
also meeting one's friends.
Yeah, but again, these are like, this more down the road.
It's definitely down the road more usually, unless you happen to bump into somebody or whatever.
Yeah.
But, and it's not
this is my friend.
It's not just the waiter. It's really anybody they're interacting with on the street.
How they talk
100%.
about people. There's too
Oh
much.
yeah.
You can tell more about how
I did an escape room.
I
with a
forget
guy
how
once.
complicated it is.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting how complicated it is because
I did an escape room with a guy once, and we had been dating for a while, and it was kind of serious by that point, and it was serious, but I definitely had reservations, so we were trying to see if it could still move forward. So we had gone to an escape room, and there was a bunch of other people there, and he barely interacted with the other people. Now in an escape room, you need to work with. It's a team effort. It's a team game.
Yeah, I hear that.
And he couldn't.
But there's a lot
do
of
that.
pressure.
And
There's
I was
a lot
like,
of pressure. I mean,
no,
you're
no,
saying
but there was like
you got to be
zero.
normal.
Was it like he was quieter but friendly, or like something was off?
He was like doing the puzzles on his own, like small things on his
So
own.
maybe he's
And
not a
I
social
tried.
guy. I don't like. By the way, I totally.
If somebody is like really asocial, like I would have picked up on
I
that.
discourage people from going on these
escape rooms.
Escape rooms. Yeah.
Why is that?
Why is
I think there's so much good that you could see.
Yeah.
From that.
It's too much going on, especially in the beginning when you're trying to like ascertain who this person is.
Well, who said it was at the beginning?
Right,
Is
this
it
is
at
at the end. No, this was like
this is after they've already been
all the way at the end.
Nobody's doing it on a first, second, third date.
I wouldn't even do it at the end. I wouldn't even do it at the end.
too revealing of a.
Even once you're married, you wouldn't do it. I would never. I would just stay away from escape.
Just don't go on.
Stay in that room. Don't escape it.
Everyone has their thing.
Stay in the room. Don't even do it. Don't meet their friends. Just get engaged. Get married over Zoom. No, I'm
Stay in that room.
Rabbi AY, great. All right, we solved the shit of crisis. Everyone.
Well, let me ask you both. I'll put this question to each of you. What do you think? Because there are so many things that you're looking for in another person, and it's so pressurized because from dating, every date is like it is sort of like a checklist that you're trying to say like check, and that's so much pressure.
Totally
it shouldn't, but at the end of the day, it's in the back of our mind. Even if it's subconscious, it's there, which is an unfortunate side effect
Not
of
even
the fact.
dating. I would just say marriage-minded dating.
Yeah, I would say marriage-minded dating comes with the pressure of that there's a goal. Any goal-oriented activity in life comes with pressure because you're trying to accomplish a goal, right? So it's, I guess,
here's
an
the first thing.
unfortunate.
Have you ever been in a meeting, just meeting a person, not even marriage, not for right, just business, or have you ever, maybe tried to keep a keen eye on this person? Whether, how they acted, what they were doing. You're going to do that naturally.
For sure.
Right?
Well, on a subconscious level, we're always judging.
Let's say you're at a business. Yeah, you're going to be judging. So a large percentage of shidduch daters the system works for, and even if you're in your shidduch year, so you're not even necessarily shidduch dating, but if you're doing that, most of the people who kind of are just not so aware of it or don't focus on it, right? It's not going to be an issue. And that's a big chunk who end up, I want to say I don't want to say getting married, but getting married and, having success in Shidduchim, because it just doesn't bother them. They're trained, whether they just don't have that mindset. They're not going to be perceptive of it. That's a big chunk right there. So a lot of people are just not going to be aware of it, And furthermore, the ones who work on it and try to focus on like, hey, this is a good guy, this is a good girl. It's just an awkward situation. I get it, They're going to have success. And then finally, I think the last group here is people are just like, nah, it doesn't matter. I don't care. Like, I'm here. I like this person. They're attractive. Like, we get each other. Like, I'm going to accept them for all their flaws. And if they have these flaws, that's it. Whatever. So they're a little socially awkward, or they're tough. I mean, that's why a lot of these,
I've been open to the
a lot of these young little.
Would you say you have been out?
Yeah, I've been open to the social, or I would say quirky.
Oh, I'm sure
I've been
you
open
have,
to the quirky. And
I can, after meeting, several 100,000, Rabbi AY, how many?
Several 100,000.
Several hundred or thousand young shidduch and old shidduch, whatever shidduch daters out there. Yes, no, we know a lot of them are definitely
not even
socially inept.
Not even that we know them. No, I'm saying I've been open to them and open to
That's good.
Continuing
Doesn't
dating
that suck,
somebody
though?
just because of that.
Doesn't that suck though? That like you're actually you're like, and how am I still like not where I want to be? That's all I want to say. I don't want to say, oh, I'm single or whatever. Like, you're still open to that, and you're not able to find, anyone who, you're willing to like, hey, I would stay for this guy. Like, I'm going to try to work it out or bring it to the end. Right.
Right. Yeah.
Sucks.
Does. Definitely.
Sucks.
Well, let me just, the point I was making earlier, because we were talking about taboo games, but you were saying, Izak, about how you shouldn't do escape rooms because it's too much pressure. So I'm going to put this question to each of you individually. What is something that you think on a date you should do X, because that will show so many different manifestations of his or her personality? It'll show midos, it'll show charm, it'll show social cues, it'll show
at one point of
financial acumen. Like,
at one point of the shidduch life cycle.
Let's say you've gone out 5-6 times, which
see, at that point, if you really
in shidduch dating, that's not serious, but it's serious enough that it's like,
at that point, if you really like the person, are into the person, it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter.
But
if you're on the border, you just want to know more about
exactly.
If you're on the border.
Well, that's how you get on the border. You're getting to know this.
Right?
Look, the natural
you're still
progression.
At the stage of getting to know that.
Exactly. The natural progression is first, second, third date. Like, what do they call it? Fish, family, Israel.
I have never heard that.
Okay, whatever.
Food, family.
No, whatever. There's a whole progression.
I know flop.
What flop. Is that? Oh, that's flowers, right?
We got flop. Okay, so pretty much like almost everything right. we got. Okay, so you got.
No, what I'm saying is there's a natural,
there's
a natural progression of getting to know people, and all of a sudden you're at this place where it's like, okay, like I know you over here. I know you A, B, C, D. In order to get past that,
I know you on paper.
Exactly. I'm gonna have to know you I'm gonna have to get to know you in the real world now. What is it? So Rivka was saying that Rivka, right?
Yes. Yeah.
That escape room is actually a great option. It shows
at
you
least later on.
Yeah,
I would say not
okay,
5 days.
Yeah, maybe not. But so what is something? Let's just use a 5th or 6th date as an example. What's something that can get you over that hump? That all of a sudden it's like, I like you, kind of like you say, well put on paper. To like, I like you as a person. What's like a good activity?
I would say one thing is do not go bowling.
Because it's boring.
It's terrible.
Boring.
Because we've heard of different things. I've heard of Snea's thing. But I went bowling. I did not find that at all. I happen to love bowling.
Interact.
There's no interaction. It's just you go, I go, you go, I go. And it goes really quickly, by the way.
Yeah.
And you're exhausted after.
Yeah.
You're exhausted, right? Do you have nightmare? Maybe we should rename the episode "Nightmare Bowling Shidduch Story."
Wait, Izak, did you just ask me what my Isaac, did you just ask me what my high score in bowling is? Oh, it's
yes, I did.
247. Thank you for asking. It is a
Not
247.
bad. I think I have a 248.
I'm gonna call you
No,
both on
I'm
that.
sorry. That's my credit score now.
I really hope not.
Golf score?
Is that even a credit? No, golf would be.
That would
like,
be way too low for
three
credit.
handicap. No, I'm a solid 11 handicap.
Okay, so we know what
I'm
not to do. We don't go bowling, but what's something where if you want to see a lot of
Well, I
different
discussed
aspects
this
of
a few times already, and you don't want to go on an action date. This is an action date.
why don't you want to go on an action date?
You don't want to do
Because
an
there's
action
not enough
date. Not in
interaction?
the beginning.
I would say somewhere where you can sit and talk.
See that I
And
don't
have a conversation.
I don't like that
Face to
either.
face.
So I don't like the action
You could do
date.
the in between.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you. Let me tell you.
Preach on, brother.
Because I'm really I'm trying to promulgate this as much as I can to save Klal Yisrael. Because also it works. Like I
You're doing
I
holy work
changed it
here.
Yeah,
and it's happening.
doing the good Lord's.
Action dates like bowling, too much. It's just too much. You're exhausted. You're wiped. Your focus is like all messed up. Like I would go archery dates, and these girls would come out cross-eyed and like with a little limp.
I found it for all those things that are that
my
are
back would go
individual.
out.
Axe throwing I found to be terrible because you're just throwing the axe than she is.
Yeah,
Same thing.
I did
also,
axe
same
throwing, but
thing.
it wasn't early on.
And then when you're sitting
And
at,
it was
when
okay.
you're sitting at, let's say, a restaurant with food, or even in a lobby, and just
That messy
it's too much
burger.
focus on you and them. So I like viewing dates. Viewing dates are the
Like
best.
museums, aquariums,
Exactly.
zoo.
Museums, museums and art I would stick to.
Oh,
Those are
because
the
then it
dates you gotta
engenders
go.
discussion
Exactly.
because you're looking at something, but you're also together, so you're interacting. Okay, I like that. So what are
You
the
have-
things that you're looking for?
You have to do those. Like
So let's say you
those-
do that on a 6th date. What are the things you're looking for in a person?
Well, I just want to say with the viewing date. The viewing date is imperative because, like you're saying, that there's also like a focus. It's not on you or her, so you're building like that passive or subliminal, like chemistry, in person kind of chemistry kind of thing. Where okay, I could be in the elevator with this person for a few flights up and a few flights down, and you're also kind of like building. Like I said, a focus. So you're focused on the art. You're watching the art. There are thoughts that are percolating in your mind, or you have something to talk about. So it's an activity that you're doing together because you're viewing it, but you're not actually throwing your entire mind into the actual action, like the physical work. And that is why, exactly like you said, museums. Art shows, go on art shows. They're really tough because they all close like 5, 6 o'clock. Sucks. Art shows like 8 a.m. to like 4, 2. Some of these places close.
Art
But
shows, you mean like
art
exhibits, pop-ups?
galleries. I want to say art galleries.
Yeah, galleries, yeah.
Those are you go in there. You're allowed to bring wine. You bring a wine. You bring they have the glass or you have the glass, whatever the kashrus thing is. And you're drinking some wine and you're viewing this, and it's very classy and mature and adult. That's something.
How have those sort of dates gone for you? Like, have you
Amazing,
felt like you
amazing.
really had that
Oh, yeah.
ability to connect?
Oh yeah. Because we did connect. Because we were both building something. What were we building? We were building our experience, our understanding of art. We had a little game, but without that physical labor.
Mm-hmm.
The physical labor is just it's draining. It's too exhausting to do.
I hear that.
How do you like? You liking it? Like, you think you're gonna start recommending?
Yes and no. Yes and
No?
no. Yes. I
Not
wouldn't
so-
say no.
Not so fervent on it, are you?
I would say when you're really trying to get to know somebody or get over that hump of just like more than just the paper, more than just the profile. Let's get to know each other a little more. I think I prefer the just face to face. A place where the music is not blasting. You could really get to know each other. Throw in some other stuff on that day, maybe also. Grab a bite to eat, or go to a museum or something. But the museum has, I do like that idea. The viewing date. But I have found myself at times saying, I feel like I need to get to know this person a little more. Like you're saying, like, what is it that you want to know, or what is it that helps at that point? and I have definitely felt those times, and when I get to that point of like, I just want to like know them a little more, like a little more understanding of who they are, how they, you know, how they what makes them tick. And for what spoke to me was, I just want to speak with them, have a face-to-face with them, like be able to just sit and connect in that way. Now that doesn't work for everyone. I understand that.
Yeah.
You know, anybody, you know, everyone that I'd be going out with, let's say, but those are the times where I felt the most, you know, of a connection. An added thing that I like to do sometimes, which I've from pretty much early dating through now, and I'm past 30, something that I bring along on that sort of date is a card game that has, you know, questions, not a Cards Against Humanity, but and not a
Don't
taboo.
give up on it. Don't give up.
No, like a conversation starter.
Conversation starter. You know, whether you want to do the perfect matches Jewish game, or you want to do the what's that other one? It's like a social workers game. It's
oh wow, perfect, Rabbi AY. You're a rabbi, so you must be a social worker. But it happens to be. I know you have experience in that field.
Social workers game. Loaded Questions.
Loaded Questions was a famous one.
Yeah.
Loaded Questions.
So
that has
just
to be
something
Jewish.
like
Is
that.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's not. No.
Loaded. I always ask my
But
third grade Rebbe, loaded question. Loaded question. All right, let me give me a coffee, okay, and then come back and
Exactly.
we went to yeshiva together. We went to right.
We went to OJ together.
Sure. We went to no, I went to.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. I don't care. We went to OJ together.
I still remember the first time I met Isaac. It was before IJ. Sorry, it was before he was.
I'm out in the open.
Oh, your anonymity is
you
gone.
always called me
It's out of the
IJ,
closet.
so
That's
not
true.
like it was
But I still remember you were in
was my
TJ at the time,
pseudonames.
and you can edit out whatever you want. But you were in TJ at the time, and our good friend Steve had brought you to OJ for Shabbos.
Yes.
And I still remember I walked over to you. I'm like, "Hi, nice to meet you," and you go, "Hi, Isaac held 5 towns."
Yeah, that's how I did it. That's how it was. Like in Game of Thrones, you know, Game of Thrones. House of Lannister. So that's what I wanted to replicate.
Isaac
It
was Game of Thrones
major-
before Game of Thrones. There was Isaac.
Right,
Yeah.
but I didn't even know. Like I kind of got into Game of Thrones. Okay, so I wanted to get to
House of Gryffindor.
Oh yeah, okay. We
can do Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. You're a big Harry Potter.
I am, and my wife is not.
Slytherin.
Ooh,
And
see, I would have never recommended it to you.
yeah,
This
but you
shit.
know what? We went to Harry Potter World. She was probably bored out of her mind, but she did it for me, and I was very
There you go.
appreciative.
There you go.
You know, as long as they care about
Yeah,
you know,
it's
what you care.
by the way,
about,
that is
you
a
know?
big thing, and it
That's
can be.
That's
Don't get me
You can live
wrong.
without it.
Don't get me wrong. It's nice. You have to find commonalities. It's not like people say like, oh, it's only about hashkafa and it's only about. Obviously, those are the main things, but you do have to find things that you enjoy together.
Personality is huge. That's
Yeah.
like the other key factor other than Hashkafa.
Correct.
in a
But
way.
look, I'm a huge reader and I love Harry Potter, and she refuses to read the first sentence of one. But you know, she
Oh, they're
appreciates
so
the fact that I
cute.
like it,
They're
Yeah.
so
and she'll
cute.
buy me gifts that have to do with Harry Potter, and you know,
Yeah,
I appreciate
Get
that.
that. Yeah. So Loaded Questions does have a couples pack.
Yeah.
But that and I've before taking it out, I don't just like take it out and be like, we're gonna play this. No, it's like, you know, you're open to
You have to
playing
segue
this,
into
and you know, I'll bring along a little game.
No, it's
you
a
know, we
good-
can do
it's-
while
it-
we sit at the bar.
It's a
or
really
whatever.
awesome way to ensconce both of yourselves into like good vibes. Dump something's going on. You're gonna feel really good, and that's where you want to get to.
Yeah.
That's
So
where you
for
wanna get to.
me
Now
to
the
try to get to know a
conversation-
person more, so for me to try to get to know a person
Yeah.
more, I appreciate that face to face interaction.
Oh yeah.
100%.
So the long distance.
You know,
it's-
that more like intimate vibe,
Yeah, you
or
need
you know
that.
whatever.
So
it
needless to
is.
say,
But
you
the
would need to
viewing
go.
date is just as important.
right on, right. I'm like,
It's just as important
just
because
wait, it'll manifest in your mind. You'll see, like, wow,
yeah.
IJ was right.
Right, I'll leave here and be like, wait.
Yes. You're like looking back. You gotta.
I'm gonna call a timeout
Oh, okay.
for myself.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You go.
Do I have to do anything?
No,
or whatever?
no,
Just-
you're
just
good. You're
pull
good.
it
Are
out?
you heading out? Or are you going to the restroom?
No, I'm heading out.
Okay, fine. You're wiped.
I'm wiped. And
Okay, fine. No, we're good. We're 43. You could stay.
I can say.
Okay.
Awesome. Oh,
Nice meeting you.
Nice
What's
to
your
meet you as
Rivka? What's your last name? Oh, this is
no,
getting
we're
edited
gonna
out
cut
anyway.
Here. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna cut here. Yeah.
Last time you didn't cut anything.
yeah, Isaac says, yeah, we'll cut it out.
No, it
Meanwhile,
was okay though. You didn't like it.
Okay, you don't have to say.
I
I
don't
know
know.
that's also. They
Nice
don't
to
know my
meet you.
name, but nice to meet you. You live around here?
At the Washington.
Okay. Very nice. You're from here.
No, from Washington Heights.
You're from. My father's from the
Washington
Heights.
Heights. Yeah.
Are you from the Heights? Like from the Heights? Are you yucky?
Not yucky.
Nice.
I didn't get here when you
I told you she's out of town. Like we're all. I'm like keeping this on.
We're gonna pause.
Yeah, we're gonna pause. How?
Yeah, the same with the Bronx is. Definitely.
Let me lay off.
I was out of town in Denver. That's where I'm from.
I actually have
So
to go.
if you're like talking about the Heights, the Bronx,
I actually
it's
have to
definitely like an out of town
Right,
vibe.
that's
It's
what I
definitely an out of town. A lot of people from Washington Heights are like the Yankees. They've married out of towners, like real out of towners. Like you see that. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Take care. It was fun.
Sure. Yeah. That'd be great.
All right,
Yeah.
take
Thanks
care.
so
Have
much.
a good
Take
night.
care. Thank you. All right, so I'm gonna be taking over now, and yeah. What should I do? Should I like pick my nose? Should I, like pull a wedgie? You know, all the awkward things that are caught on camera. Is that the one on the table here? Oh, is that the pumpkin spice one on the table here? Yeah, I'll try this one. I bought it for my family, but I never tried it. Thank you. You're low on mugs. Oh, which one? Oh, I'm excited for the reveal. I am excited for the reveal. Pick a good one.
All right. This was episode 90. Long distance dating, meeting on social media, some different takes on, where to date, how to date. That was some cool things. Rivka, where can the people find you?
They could find me through you.
Yeah, just find me. Everyone's like,
find
just find me through you.
I'm on Instagram.
People like want to cut. Yes.
Fervent photog.
Okay, fine. Fervent photog. So
Everyone's always like, what is that? What does that mean? I'm like, fervent
photography.
photographer.
I know, that's what I was telling.
Which is kind of like
Fervent Avery. Fervent drinking.
there you go. Like,
Fervent
what does
dater.
that mean? I'm like, go
Fervent
look
dater.
it up.
Yeah, that's a grown up word. It's a grown up word.
Yeah. So when I started my Instagram years back, I was trying to find some quippy
Catchy
way
word.
of like
Yeah.
combining photographer.
So
or whatever,
hey,
yeah.
Fervent Photog. It's cute. It's catchy. I think it works. People find her over there. We're also on Instagram at Nobody Talk Shidduchim. A link tree at Shidduchim. TikTok at Shidduchim. So as I usually end off, happy face, smiley face, silly face. This is the Nobody Talk Shidduchim podcast, and I have a song. I want to play for the people.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, throwing it back. Thank you, YouTube. YouTube Music really contributed to this song. Like, they threw it in. Remember this one? You know this one? Yehuda from Cleveland.
Yehuda exclamation point.
Yeah. Yeah. You remember.
That I know.
You remember. Rivka, thanks for coming.
Buying a house is so difficult these days. I've not been able to find any houses on the market, but with Long Island realtor Sharon B., I've been able to find a whole array of beautiful homes. Marble, wood, brick. If you use Long Island realtor Sharon B., licensed real estate broker, you can buy a brand new home and live there with your parents, landlord, or your future spouse. Follow Your Listing Specialist on Instagram or on Linktree, Your Listing Specialist.
Ouchies Media Network.